Hi, it's CY here. I have an idea about Kampar Hill, so stay with me till the end. But first, let's have a virtual tour of the hills. Here, as you can see, we have three known hills: Gunung Bujang Melaka, Gunung Relau, and Bukit Kampar. Previously, Bukit Kampar was also known locally as Dragon Hill or Yutongsen Hill. They all belong to the same hill family and is an extension of Banjaran Titi Wangsa. Bujang Melaka, the dad, is the tallest at 1,233 meters. If you take a hike up, the 12-kilometer round trip will likely take you about 8 to 14 hours. Gunung Relau or Cannon Hill, the mom, is the second tallest at 951 meters. The hike will likely take you about 6 to 8 hours for a total distance of 8 kilometers. At the peak, there are loads of empty World War II ammunition boxes. Hey, how come there are bullet boxes at the top of the hill? That's because Kampar is a famous site of a World War II battle. More on this later. Now, the Chow, Bukit Kampar, stands at 505 meters tall. The 3-kilometer hiking trail is relatively easy and probably will take you less than 2 hours. In this video, I will refer to them collectively as the Kampar Hill family. Now, the dad is already part of Hutan Lipo Sungai Salu, which is a permanent forest reserve. But strangely enough, the mom and child have not been included. I wonder why. Maybe it's time we put them together, don't you think? If you look at the terrain map, can you spot where one hill begins and the other ends? Now, let's explore the site further. On the north side of Bukit Kampar are the ridges used as World War II battle trenches against the Japanese invasion. Thompson's Ridge, which is now Taman Kampar Jaya, the Cemetery Ridge, which is of course the cemetery, and the Green Ridge. Now, the Green Ridge is the only remaining battle trench which is still intact. Now, do you know that the Battle of Kampar is only one out of 2 battles won by the British soldiers during the Japanese invasion of Malaya? Japanese invaded Malaya from the north, while the Allied troops retreated to KL and Singapore. Now, Kampar, being a strategic town located in between, offers a strategic location for the soldiers to defend against the Japanese advance. So, there were about 1,300 British Indian soldiers stationed in Kampar to actually slow or stop the advance of 9,000 Japanese troops with tanks and artillery. Now, Kampar was only abandoned after the Japanese circumvent the route to south via Teluk Intan by sea. So today, there still remains some nostalgic remnants of World War II at Green Ridge and Gunung Relau. So Green Ridge has recently been gazetted as a National Heritage Site. Now, according to the late Mr. Chai Kui Lung, a decorated Kampar historian, there were many overseas tourists or family of war heroes interested to visit Kampar every year. In fact, Mr. Narendra Modi, the current Prime Minister of India, indicated an interest in 2015 to construct a war memorial in Green Ridge to commemorate the Battle of Kampar. This shows you how significant the Kampar Hill family is. Now, you may also have heard stories from your father or grandfather of how Kamparians ran for the hills when the Japanese invaded. Which hill do you think they ran to? On the south is my favorite, the Batu Berangkai waterfall. As you can see, this is a water source. So all the water from the hills, surrounding hills, actually flow through Batu Berangkai. This waterfall offers many natural jacuzzi spots and is always busy on weekends because the water is cold and fresh. In fact, Batu Berangkai is where you can access the hiking trails to Bujang Melaka, Relau, and also the Bukit Kampar or Dragon Path. Moving north, we have the Air Terjun Sungai Salu near Kuala Tipang. This is actually part of the existing forest reserve and is called the Taman Eco Rimba Sungai Salu. It is ideal for picnicking, bird watching, and jungle trekking. A stone's throw away from there is our neighbor, the largest limestone cave in Peninsula, Gua Tempurung. It is estimated to be about 400 million years old. You heard me right, 400 million years old. In fact, as I've explained in my previous video, the same karst or limestone cave formation in Gua Tempurung is also beneath us throughout Kinta Valley. Coming back to the Kampar Hill family, we have Kampong Sahom on the other side of the hill. Sahom is becoming increasingly popular as an ecotourism resort Now this is where you can sit in the river, dip your feet in and makan tepi sungai. Moving further south, we have Cenderam, the area of our Menteri Besar. So Cenderam offers access to another cool waterfall, the Latah Kinjang, which is the tallest waterfall in Southeast Asia at 850 meters. There are also other camping grounds nearby, such as the Sentosa Eco Park and the Draco Nature Camp nearby. Fancy a flying fox? If you drive around the Kampar Hill family, it will probably take you about an hour to complete one full circle. As you can see, just from a simple round trip around the Kampar Hill family, you can already experience the nostalgic remains of World War II, the wonders of prehistoric eras, and the splendors of nature in the form of waterfalls and hiking trails, not to mention all the good food that you can get from Kampar. Now, what else is more suitable to this area than historic ecotourism? What if we can connect all these spots together as an eco trail? Jejak Eco Kampar? Or maybe we can conduct an eco challenge along all the hiking trails and caves, like the Mulu Eco Challenge. The state government actually recognizes all these gems across Kinta Valley, and Duli Yang Maha Mulia Paduka Seri Sultan Perak have actually decreed Kinta Valley, including the districts of Kampar, as the National Geopark in 2018. His Highness decreed that Kinta Valley adopts sustainable development with importance given to environmental interests. In fact, in the words of our current Exco for Tourism, Datuk
Kerajaan
Noli,
negeri telah bersetuju untuk meluluskan perancangan untuk menjadikan untuk melasasikan Geopark Lembah Kinta. Tetapi dengan adanya pengzonan ataupun Geopark Lembah Kinta ini, ianya akan turut membantu kluster-kluster pelancongan yang tersedia ada di dalam kawasan yang telah yang kita rancang untuk digazetkan sebagai Geopark Lembah Kinta. Jadi ini akan meliputi 3 daerah, iaitu Bandar Ipoh, Kampar dan juga Kinta lah secara menyeluruh dan Batu Gajah.
So how can we do this? Now, one way I can think of is to gazette Kampar Hill family as a forest reserve, as an extension of Hutan Lipo Sungai Salu. According to Akta Perhutanan Negara 1984, the state has the right to gazette forest land as permanent forest reserve deemed necessary for flood control or Hutan Kawalan Banjir, or for land protection or Hutan Pelindungan Tanah. Now, since Kampar Hill family is a water source and have experienced flash floods and landslides in the past, it should be able to fit right in. But as a Prihatin government, we must be fair to the private landowners as well. The state should actually do a land swap with them and allow them to perform their desired activities, whatever they want to do, outside from urban areas. For example, if they want to build a private cemetery, they can build it there. The state may also consider granting the landowners a first rights of refusal project to any initiative to develop the Kampar Hill family as an ecotourism spot, with either a profit sharing model or a management company model. Now, this will allow the state to specify the parameters, the requirements on how to preserve the forest. It will also allow the state access to shared capital. For example, you want to do a project with shared capital, and also a profit sharing model to maintain the sites at the highest quality possible. That's it. That's the raw idea, but I think it will be a win-win-win for all parties. It's a win for the people, because development will not increase risk of natural disasters. People's lives will not be negatively impacted. When outsiders come, they will spend. When the 10,000 plus Utah Kampar campus students bring their families and friends for ecotourism, they will spend. When the Utah alumni comes back and return for ecotourism, they will also spend. This will definitely benefit the local businesses. And it is a win for the private landowners. Why? Because they will get to do what they want to do. If they want to build a private cemetery, they can do that, but it's outside of town. so they won't receive brickbats from locals, so locals won't curse them. In fact, if they can bring up Kampar, the Kampar economy, the locals will actually be grateful to them. They might even earn more by helping the state develop the ecotourism projects. And this will also be a win for the state, because the government will be able to collect taxes from both the landowners when they do their projects at the swamp land, and also all the new ecotourism projects at the hills. Why not, right? And all of these are within 20 minutes drive to other attractions, such as whitewater rafting in Gopeng, the Hoga Tea Valley, and Kelly's Castle in Batu Gajah. The most minimum that we need to do to the Kampar Hills family is to keep the place clean, build some lookout towers at the peaks so that people will get a bird's eye view of the surrounding when they reach the peaks, and have better defined hiking trails. That's all. And if we want to do more, we can always build a war museum in the jungle. Let tourists walk the path of World War II refugees. We can even build treetop walks like the Free Forest Skywalk, or maybe, if we want to look a bit further, a glass sky bridge like the ones in China. We may not offer the best in the world, but it is a spot people can come every weekend.
You